heard the news. We got a brand new show that's breaking all the rules. Started out from VA and now we on the move. From local to global, cause we got something to prove. We came from the bottom, now we at the tippy top. To hold it down for our people, cause we all we got. This a cold, cold world, but we keeping it hot. With our teacher on the line, ain't no time to stop. All work over here, still we having fun. Yeah, we say it like it is, ain't no holding our tongue. Go get us on the team, yeah, we getting it done. And shout out to Travell, yo, you number one. It started with a dream that turned into a vision. To educate new generations is our mission. Ears to the streets, yeah, we steady politicking. If it ain't about to change, mind your business.
Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. Now wait again, minute. Wave your hands with it. We top picks like we all up on the gram with it.
Welcome to another episode of Wait Again Minute podcast. Well, today is actually a very special episode because normally we are on Thursdays at 7:00 p.m. But today is Sunday, September the 18th, 2022. And I have the pleasure of sitting with Miss Katrina, better known as Miss Nancy Drew. So how are you, madam?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing good. How was your weekend?
My weekend was wonderful.
It was wonderful?
It was.
That's good. That's great. That's great. Okay, well, can you please introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners or Wait Again Minute as to who you are?
My name is Katrina Webb. I'm known on IG and Facebook and by family as Nancy Drew. I was given that name as a child.
You know, I did ask you. I said Nancy Drew because I was thinking about the lady who was on like Court TV, the attorney. Yeah,
That's me.
So that's why they gave you that name that early on.
Yes.
So you were that inquisitive.
I was. Yes, and I still am. I like to get to the bottom of things.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So what brings you to Wait Again Minute today?
Today I'm here in reference to an incident that occurred with my daughter Legacie on Wednesday at Crossroads Elementary School.
Mm-hmm.
Around 8:31 a.m., I received a phone call from the school nurse stating that I needed to come and get Legacie. I needed to come and get Legacie because something happened with her. That's exactly her words.
Okay. So let's go back a little bit. Legacie is your daughter, correct?
Yes, she's my 8-year-old daughter. I apologize. She is nonverbal and non-mobile. She don't walk or talk. Legacie has leukodystrophy, autism, developmental delay, and cerebral palsy.
Wow. So she has a lot going on.
Yes, she does. She's totally dependent upon others.
Okay. And you have how many other children in addition to Legacie?
In addition to Legacie, I have 3 other children.
Okay. So you have your hands full.
Yes, I do.
Wow. Superwoman. That's what I'm going to call you before the episode is over. Superwoman.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, so you get a call from school at 8:31. What time did she go to school? Because it just that was pretty early.
Crossroads School began at 8:30. Students are to be there at around 8:30 a.m.
Okay.
And Legacie had just gotten off the school bus, to be exact. Hadn't even made it into the building.
Wow. And they called you, and what did they say when they called you?
When the nurse called, she was like, Miss Webb, I don't know how to say this, but there has been an accident with Legacie. There has really been a bad accident with Legacie, and you need to come. And I'm like, an accident?
Right.
And her words are like all over the place. And she's like, well, yeah, Legacie kicked her shoes off, and the TA, teacher's assistant, was trying to pick up Legacie's shoes, and Legacie, when the teacher's assistant leaned forward, Legacie leaned forward and fell. That is what I was told. I said, I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I need to get my baby. I'm on my way. She said, yes, please come.
Now, when they called and told you that, can you let us know exactly how you were feeling? Like, where was your mind at when you got that call?
I prayed immediately, and I just prayed immediately. My heart was pounding. I was really like upset, distraught, didn't know what to think. I didn't know how she would, feel, look. And I'm like, oh my God, my baby. I felt so bad. I was hurt. I was hurting bad. I was just trying to figure out what happened to her. And
I'm sure it was like a long way, to to actually get your daughter? I mean,
It
it could have been around the corner, but in your mind, it probably seemed like it took forever,
It
right?
seemed like forever. I promise you, it seemed like forever. It did.
And when you on your way, you thinking of all kind of things because she really didn't give you much
She
information.
did not. Nope. She didn't. She didn't
Wow.
give me much information at all.
So when you got there, what did you see?
When I walked into the school, they asked me to hold my driver's license up to the camera so that they could verify who I am.
Okay.
And I looked through the glass at the nurse's office and I broke down. I broke down crying and I flipped out.
Wow. So when you flipped out, what did you see?
What I observed was Legacie's face. My mom takes a picture of Legacie every morning before we send
Okay.
her to school. Every
Okay.
single morning.
Okay.
She didn't have on the same clothes, so I knew something bad had taken place.
Mm-hmm.
But her nose looked like it was like smushed down a little, and she had a gash underneath her nose. Her lips were swollen, and there was a big bandage on her forehead, on her left side of her forehead,
Mm-hmm.
and scrapes on her chin, and I saw a bandage on her hand and on her knee, and I could just cry and just all I could do was say, Legacy, I'm sorry I wasn't there to save you. But immediately when I entered the room, my baby broke down crying. She was calm when I looked at her at first,
Right.
but
Mm-hmm.
to see me, she broke down crying immediately.
Wow. So I can't imagine um what you went through, but as well as Legacy. And then not being able to communicate with the teachers,
Right.
the actual staff. So when she started crying, what did you do?
I grabbed her to hold her and hug her, and I didn't want to move her too much because I still wasn't sure what exactly had taken place. No one was giving me clear answers at all.
Right. So how did you okay, I'm just, you know, and we're still so early on in the conversation, but I'm just kind of taken back because I can't imagine, how either of you guys felt. But when you actually held your child, did you actually after that did you talk to an administrator or the faculty to find out, you know, any more information?
Yes, actually, I did. Her teacher came in and she introduced herself, in which I had already known who she was, and she just assured me that she was not there. She was with other children in the classroom. This happened outside. And then the nurse told me, it kind of like jogged my thoughts because the nurse went to tell me, "Oh, I had to take her shoes off and her clothing off to change her clothes because I didn't want you to freak out at the sight of all of the blood." Wait, on the phone, you
Wow.
told me that Legacy had taken her shoes off, which
Mm-hmm.
is how she fell because the TA went to lean forward and pick them up and Legacy went behind her. Now you're telling me that you took her shoes and everything off because of the sight of blood. You didn't want to
Right.
freak me out.
So now they're saying all of this, right? But it seems like it's some inconsistency somewhere,
Yes.
right? So did they actually, when they put the bandage on her, did they okay, first let me ask you this. How do they normally communicate with Legacy in school, being that she's nonverbal? Like, how did they ask her, you know, if she wasn't crying to them, like, how did they ask her to make sure that she was okay? She, was she heard or anything like that?
They just comfort her. They rock her like she although she's 8 years old, she's
Mm-hmm.
still treated like a baby because of her, delay.
Mm-hmm.
So they rock her and comfort her and rub her back. And I know because I observed that myself. That I did observe before because she's been at the school for some time.
Okay. Wow. So now, does she have a communication device or anything? Like some kids have the little
Right,
tablets.
assistive technology. Yeah,
Okay.
see, no, but now her doctor is on it. Her doctor is really on it, and she has done the script for it, and Legacy will have it now, thanks
Right.
to this incident.
Okay. So that'll be something that you guys will have to teach her to
Yep.
to actually do.
Yes.
Now, after you spoke to the administrator and they told you what they what they thought had happened. Then you did what after that? Did you take her home or what happened?
I took Legacy to CHKD. I wanted her to see her physician.
Okay.
So I took her to CHKD. Triage did see her, and there wasn't any extensive, you know, treatment that they could give her, but they did give me clear instructions on, how to treat her with the Tylenol, and her top teeth went through her bottom lip,
So
which
she fell hard.
yes, 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 yes.
Okay, so let's get back to it. So the teacher assistant was pushing her, right?
Hmm.
And she tumbled over.
That is what was told to me. Yes,
But what did she hit?
exactly, exactly.
Now, all of this that happened, is this any of this on any cameras, any witnesses to the
Yes.
incident?
Yep. Her bus driver stopped past the house the next day, and she said that she will be a witness. All of the buses never left. They were still out there. This incident happened, and there was a curb there. And
Right.
the driver said immediately, she told me the truth, and she was crying. And she said I said to myself, why would she wheel her right there?
Right.
Yep, there was a curb.
And she hit her mouth that hard to where the
The
two teeth.
Her top teeth went through her bottom lip.
Now, has anybody reached out to you since then to, give you any more information or just check on Legacy to make sure that she's okay, or even you?
The teacher has checked on me every single day, her teacher.
Okay.
And I have heard from the principal, because let's go back. The assistant principal was not helpful at all at the visit. She was quiet. The nurse did go and get her because the principal was unavailable. But the assistant principal, she came in, she introduced herself. I apologize, and she didn't say anything else. She just sat and listened to us all talk amongst each other. So the principal said, Legacy is one of her faves, and she knows Legacy like a book. And
Right.
she told me straight out, Miss Webb, I observed it. She said, I saw it. She said, I had to watch those cameras from home. And she said, yeah, she told me, she said, Miss Webb, I apologize. All she kept saying is she's sorry. And I'm like, but what happened to her?
Right.
She said it's still being investigated, but Legacy's brakes were never applied to her chair.
Now, this teacher assistant, does she normally handle Legacy, or is this her first time, or she just was there to assist, or
You have the same question that I have. That has not been answered. They said it's an quote unquote ongoing investigation.
right? And I get that it's a ongoing investigation, but it's like some things, they should already be able to tell you exactly what happened. Now, I'm
Right.
not saying they have to say, go step by step, because yeah, it is an investigation, and
Right.
I'm sure they probably try to cover their ass.
Right, right,
So, but it's some things that they should tell you.
right. As a mother, like, don't you think I should know? And that is why I said I respect the principal over at Crossroads School, because she was honest with me. She was like, as a mother, I wanted to know what exactly happened to Legacy. She said, especially since she said my teacher, Legacy's teacher, showed her the pictures. She said she was not okay with that at all. She was not okay, not at all.
So they took pictures and bandaged her up and all of that, but they didn't give you any more information. So you're basically putting things together yourself.
Yep, yep. And from
The witnesses.
from witnesses, exactly. Putting it together for myself and from witnesses. But I'm like, don't you think I should know what happened to my child? Like,
Right.
I'm her voice. She's my heart. I am her voice.
That's
She
right.
can't say what happened. So I have to be here to do it for her.
And I think that's what is so upsetting, that she can't speak.
Right.
So it's like they actually doing her dirty.
Right.
To
Yeah.
me, because it's like, if you know that this child can verbally speak, why won't you let somebody know what's going on?
Right.
You also, are you thinking that, hey, if we don't tell them, she can't speak, so she can't tell them what's going on?
And that is my exact thoughts. I promise you. At first, I didn't want to think of it that way, but then I'm like, wait, something is not right. They are trying to cover something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something is being covered here.
So how long has she been going to Crossroads?
Legacy has been going there since she was, yeah, she's been going there about 2 years.
Okay, so she's been going there a while, so that's why the principal is aware of her and knows her,
Yeah,
and
she
she's
knows
her.
her.
Yeah.
Yep, she knows her and she sees her, and she assured me Legacy still had her shoes on. It was not Legacy kicking her shoes off and went to lean forward. No one even is sure why the TA even turned away from her or wheeled her wherever she wheeled her.
So she's saying that she was trying to take her shoe off, so maybe her shoe got trampled in the wheel of the wheelchair.
Right. That it
Okay,
doesn't.
but even if that's the case, if she wasn't locked in, then you know, yeah, then what happened would have happened.
Right. And then the Nancy Drew and me kicks in.
Right.
The Legacy's chair has a foot strap, a lap strap, and a chest strap. There is no way that her face would look like that. There's no way. There is no. Legacy is lighter than the chair. If she was heavier than the chair than her leaning forward, okay, it could happen.
Right.
But, it has to be something else, which is how I knew for a fact her brakes weren't applied to her chair. Wheelchair 101. I worked with special needs children for 14 years. They
Okay.
always tell us no matter what you're doing, you lock those wheels because at the blink of an eye, the child or adult or whatever, could tip over, flip over, easily wheel forward. I already knew that's what had taken place without them even telling me that. And they still won't tell me, but yeah, the principal did one-on-one. She called me at home. She told me.
Okay, so now this happened right when she got off the bus at the school at the bus ramp.
Yep, the bus ramp, it comes out, to let her down, and then it comes down. She wasn't even good and off the bus completely yet.
Okay, so now let's go back. See, now the Nancy Drew and me is kicking in.
There you
okay,
go.
because if she got on the bus, now that teacher assistant rides with them on the bus, or is she just
just get them off the bus? But there is a bus assistant on the bus.
Exactly, bus assistant. Now that bus assistant job is to get them on the bus, make sure that they are secured in their spot, right? So that God forbid when the bus driver takes off, somebody get to rolling.
Right.
Okay, so that may be the first step there with the assistant that rides on the bus.
Yep, I said that's the question that I have for the bus assistant. Now I want to know, when she was on the bus and getting off the bus, like, were you able to, wheel her down to the TA? You know what I mean? To the teacher's assistant. That way, I can clear out some of these spaces, these gaps.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with you from a parent of view, because you're left to kind of figure out what happened because you wasn't there, and then your child can't speak,
and she can't speak. She can't tell me. And then I did ask questions. No names were given to me. They said to quote unquote protect the TA, but who protected my child?
Absolutely. So how has Legacy been since the incident?
Legacy she's been kind of whiny. She wasn't eating at first. She wouldn't really eat because it obviously burned, but her physician did tell me to get her some what is it? Liquid antacids, because of her teeth going through, there will be a lot of saliva. So I did get her liquid antacids, and now she's able to eat. And her nurse has been there, her home nurse, which is, my cousin and my mom. They have been comforting her, rubbing her back, keeping her calm. She just looks out of it a lot.
Yeah.
Like usually she plays and everything, but right now, no, she's just not the same.
So now, what is her normal temperament like on a regular day before this incident happened?
Her normal temperament, Legacy, she talks a lot. So I will always say, Lord, girl, you always in somebody's business. And we would laugh because she don't talk really, but she babbles and she makes her noises. And usually that's just her. And she claps her hands together. And she has this toy that lights up. And it has wheels on it where she can pull it to her. She'll pull it and keep pressing the buttons so it can, blink and light up.
Right.
She hasn't touched it.
Wow.
Yep, she has not touched it. Right now she's just really sleeping.
She's sleeping. So when okay, being that I mean, I need you to educate me because one, I don't have a child. Two, not I don't know anyone that's nonverbal. How does she communicate with you when she's not feeling, good?
When Legacy is not feeling good, she is really whiny. Like she will whine a lot. She will cry and scream, and she just will not stop. And that's how we know when something is going on with her.
Okay.
That's how we are able to tell. Like, and we'll try a series of things. We'll start with the cup. Like maybe she
Mm-hmm.
wants her sippy cup,
Right.
and then we'll check and see if she's wet, and then we'll try food. We'll see if she's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
But she's on a feeding schedule, so usually it's not her being hungry. So
Okay. So I read that you call her the shady baby. Why you call her the shady? Why you call Miss Legacy the shady baby?
Legacy Legacy throws more shade than palm trees. I'm telling you, she will give you a look. Any little thing that you do that she don't like, she will give you
Mm-hmm.
this look. Like out of the corner of her eye, she will look and she will roll her eyes so hard you'll think she's taking a nap. I promise you. And then there's this thing with her hand that she does, and she'll like throw the hand up
Uh-huh.
and she'll look again. She'll just keep looking until, and I'm like, okay, well, what's up?
That's good. So how have you been since the incident? Like what have how have you been in all of this?
Mentally torn for
Mm-hmm.
her. Like seeing her like that, and I try not to let her see me upset because children can feel they can
Yeah.
feel our vibe and our energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been a bucket of tears, still wondering what happened to Legacy. Like
Right.
what happened? And I want justice. There will be justice for Legacy. There will be.
Now, what does justice look like for you and Legacy?
The TA being held responsible. And I don't, Lord, the way inflation is in the world today, I don't like to see anyone without employment. She needs new training or,
Right.
you know what I mean, or something. And then, like I told the principal, I said, had I sent Legacy to the school looking like that, who do you think would have been called on me?
Oh, soon as she got on that bus,
CPS, right?
by the time they got to that school, they'd been waiting on her.
So who do you think I called?
CPS.
Okay, thank you. You don't want to answer my questions? Guess what? I gave them a few days. This incident took place on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I gave them until Friday. Nothing. So Friday evening, I contacted CPS.
And what? So how was that going with CPS?
I'm waiting for the supervisor at CPS to give me a call back so that she could, go over and speak with the officials over at the school and even the principal. She was okay because I let her know heads up, even though she told me what was what, and you all are protected names and stuff. I want
Right.
charges pressed. So how about this? You answer the CPS then.
Right.
I
Yeah.
said, because, had I sent Legacy to school like that, I asked the same question I just asked you. I said, who do you think would have been called on me? She
Yeah.
said, oh, most definitely, Child Protective Services. I said, exactly. So, that's who's going to be at your school, right?
Yeah.
You're going to answer to somebody.
Yeah. I'm just Katrina Gam Sut says she's just confused as to how a fall could cause all of that.
Yes.
So that would have to been a very
Hard
hard
fall,
fall. Yeah.
almost like a push, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, was she losing her balance? I mean, I was told that the lady could barely walk. So you mean to
Oh
tell
my
me a
Jesus. So
disabled
she may have
person?
needed help herself.
So you mean to tell me a disabled person is
Oh
getting another
no.
disabled person off the school bus? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I understand that disabled person may need a job, so we definitely don't discriminate.
Right. We
However,
don't know.
but we have to give them something else to do.
Something else to do. And it is not to wheel a special needs child or person off of a bus. It is not.
Yeah,
Should not be. No.
yeah, that's a little bit too much. So, but they did the reports and everything from the hospital. Everything came back okay. So you just got
Yep.
to kind of watch her.
Right. She had a mild concussion though.
Mm.
Yeah, she did. And that's probably what was causing her to keep, like, she would close her eyes and look up and keep turning her head back and forward, back and forward. I think she was dizzy
Mm-hmm.
and she just kept rocking herself to sleep. Or we would rock her to sleep. You know what I
Right.
mean? As we're rocking, she's still rocking.
Yeah. I think that's the part that's not settling in my mind is that you don't know how she's processing or what she's thinking.
Right. Which is why I did tell the principal that it will be a while before they see her again. It will be a while. It
Hmm.
will be. I mean, she is making some progress, but I am not okay. I am not okay. And I know she's not okay either,
Right.
especially mentally.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's not.
And I can understand your position though, not, sending her back to school and then so sudden, because it's like you don't know if it's gonna happen again, and you
Right.
don't want to trigger her.
Right.
Like
Right.
you're just kind of in a place of you're uncertain right now.
Right. I'm very uncertain. Very. I'm not okay. I am not okay with this. Not at all. It's like the system has failed my child. The system
Mm-hmm.
has failed me as a parent.
Right. And you have four other children. Well, three other children
Yep.
too,
Three
right?
other children as well. Yes.
So how are they? Do they understand and know what's going on?
My second child, he's 12 years old now. Him and Legacy were really close until I had my last baby. But
Okay.
they're still close. He has been helping my mom and her nurses take care of her. He's been very protective of his sister. He hasn't been wanting to go back to school, and
Oh wow.
I didn't force him. I did not,
Okay.
because he said he's worried about his sister.
But they don't go to the same school though, correct?
No, he's in middle
Okay.
school.
Okay, so he's in protective mode,
Yep, he
protective big brother
is.
mode.
Yep, and I, as a mother, and I did let his school know, what's going on, and they were like, "Oh my gosh," they're understanding. They know what's going on, and I didn't force him. I did not force him. They are very worried. And then my oldest son, my 18-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, he is a bucket of tears. He is just like me. He's a
Yeah.
teddy bear. He do not play about Legacy.
Yeah. Got a
He's
special
never
place.
dropped her. You know what I mean? He's
Mm-hmm.
even picked her up to transfer her for the nurses and for me and for my mom. And
Right.
he's never even dropped her.
Yeah. And I do understand, things can happen. So we do definitely we definitely want to put that out there. But it's just what happened after the fact that's kind
After
of
the
like pissing me off.
Right, exactly. And that is what a lot of my viewers, on Facebook and IG are saying. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so what is the school system saying?
Right.
Nothing. I mean, I've been leaving messages for the school board. I'm almost to the point where I want to reach out to the mayor. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
somebody has to give me answers. Someone has to.
Yeah. You're definitely right. And you do deserve some answers.
Right.
So you haven't reached out to you have reached out to the school board, but nobody has responded back to you yet.
Nope, not yet. I did that late on Friday. So I'm waiting for
Okay.
the school board to contact me back. Like, I am really going to the top with this. This won't ever happen again to anyone else's child. You know what I
Right.
mean? No other family will experience what I'm experiencing.
So when you say you're going to the top with it, what do you mean about it?
What I mean, I am sorting through attorneys right now. I have a
Okay.
few that wants the case badly.
Okay.
And as I said, if I have to speak to the mayor, I will. Supreme Court, I will. Like, I've reached out to a few different agencies. Someone told me to reach out to Autism Society. Lord, I have over 500 inboxes on Facebook with people
Crazy.
offering,
Resources and
yeah,
stuff.
resources and everything. They're like, "Mom, don't let this go. This is unacceptable. Something happened. Something really happened to that child. Like, this is
Mm-hmm.
something that we could call nothing. This is not something like that. This is really something that happened to
Right.
the child." And I appreciate that. I do. I
Yeah.
really do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you do, and that that help that you're getting, you know, will I'm sure will help the process of what's going on. So you're now going through the attorneys. What are you looking for, like far as an attorney? Like, what do you want them to do?
I want them to get to the bottom of it, for one, to the bottom of what has taken place. I want answers. I really, you know what I mean? I want answers. I don't I don't really care about the money, because the money won't heal my daughter, won't heal her heart. You know what I
Right.
mean? But someone has to pay for this. The questions that I have, no one that I'm asking, rather, no one is answering. Okay, so you're going to have to answer to somebody.
Right.
And which is why I said, okay, you don't want to answer me. Okay, how about I get an attorney
Mm-hmm.
so that I can get the necessary answers that I deserve for my child,
Right.
for my family.
Okay, so I have a question for you. So, can you refresh my memory? How long ago did this happen?
This took place on Wednesday.
This past Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this is still fresh.
Yes.
Okay. So, once you get the answers, okay, so you go through the final steps, and once you actually get the answers, what would actually be next for you? So if they give you the answers, because you said that's all you want, and then if they give them to you, would you be satisfied with those answers, or would you just leave it alone? Like, what would be your next step once they give you the answer? If they give you the answers tomorrow, what will you do next?
My next step is to make sure that the person who the negligence, had taken place underneath is not employed there anymore. Because as I stated, with me being told that, oh, she's barely walking herself, she don't need to be working, with disabled people, children at that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure, that she's held responsible because that was complete negligence.
Yeah,
Okay.
I definitely agree with you. And
Right.
my thing is, if that person is disabled themselves, and if she or he would have failed,
Right.
how is that? How are they going to help that person that they're helping?
Right.
Right.
If you're on the floor
If
yourself.
you're on the floor
Right.
yourself. And then the sad part for, whichever viewer we have speaking, the sad part is that the bus drivers are who picked Legacy up. The entire wheelchair fell on her. She fell forward face first with the wheelchair, literally
On top
attached
of
to her
her.
and on her back.
Oh wow. So where was the? Okay, so now hold
So
on.
it's only one person that's helping the disabled kids off the bus with wheelchairs, and it just so happened that this person might have been or might not have been a person that's disabled themselves.
Correct. They are each assigned to, particular classes. There is
Okay.
one or I believe two TAs assigned to each classroom with
Okay.
special needs children, rather.
But why did the bus drivers have to help Legacy get up? Where was the TA at? Was she's on the bottom?
That is the question. That was not like, where was she? That was my question to the nurse. Like, where was the TA?
Also, she may not even have been around. She may have stepped away or
And that is
didn't realize the wheelchair wasn't locked. Maybe try to help someone else or help herself or
right.
whatever. And maybe
But not necessarily
mm,
even only the wheelchair. Legacy must not have been locked either, so she
She
didn't. She didn't
wasn't.
make
Her
show none
wheels
of
weren't
it.
locked. They were not secure. I found that out. Yep. The principal did tell me that part.
So the principal. So the principal knows some stuff.
Yep, she
You
does. She's
just
not
don't
saying
know.
much. Yep, I don't
Okay.
I don't know how much the principal knows, but she did. She said, "Oh, I can tell you as a mother." She said, "I watched the cameras from at home." She said, "Legacy is one of my faves, so I really wanted to know what happened with her." And in so many words, she said there was negligence, and she did tell me Legacy's wheels were not secured, Miss Webb.
Okay, but she didn't give you no information on what her next step as the principal, the head of the school, that particular school, what she would do as far as with her staff.
Not at all, no, ma'am. Nope.
well, I guess she has to wait. She said that
Right,
it's still in investigation.
Investigation.
So
right.
she has to do what
Yeah.
the steps are as far as the school is concerned. So
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
get her position and I do respect her for telling you what she has told you.
Right.
You
Right.
know, but at some point, like we're going into the next week. So
Right.
they should have at least called you in. Well,
And schedule an appointment on when
at
she
Or
least
could come
something,
in.
tomorrow or
right.
Tuesday. Yeah, they
Yeah, they
definitely
should.
should
They
be.
could have called her in if she looked at the camera from home, and this happened on Wednesday. And she looked at the camera on home, at home. She has an idea on what actually took place. So if
Right.
this happened on Wednesday, then Wednesday morning she looked at the camera at home. She had Thursday and Friday to actually talk to that person, and then she
Correct.
could have called her by Friday afternoon to schedule an appointment for her to come in on Monday or Tuesday, so she can have a sit down with her being the parent.
Yep.
That
So
may be.
it's really like it. I don't see, and I'm not in that system, but I don't see why it would take a whole week or something when you just clearly called and said, "Hey, I saw the camera." Okay,
Right.
well, the camera is telling you everything pretty much you need to know to do your investigation. You
Right.
don't really have to say, "Hey, let me go talk to her." S. You're looking at the
You're
camera.
looking at the camera. You see what took place,
In all fairness, though, I get you guys' position, like I really do. But at the same time, as far as being an administrator, it may not go as quickly as we think it should.
Exactly.
So we still have to allow them that time to, process it and get their shit together.
Right.
Yeah, get the little
Before
story
they,
together.
come to you and say, hey, this, that, and the third happened. So I get that too. But my concern, and I think overall concern should be the well-being of Legacie.
Right.
Right. That is, and that's all I keep saying. Like, how are you? What are you all going to do to make sure that this don't happen to another child? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are the steps you're going to take?
Right. And I think, even though this incident happened, it has to be a learning experience for the school, for everybody that's involved.
That's right.
Because, like sometimes, as a parent, you send your child off to school. So, you give her to the person she's already secured or whatever, right?
Yep.
And then they have to unlock the wheel so that she can actually move to
Right.
get on the bus.
Right.
And then they, put them in the spot they're supposed to be in. So it's like, you shouldn't have to go on the bus to make sure that she's actually secure on the bus.
Exactly. Correct.
So training is definitely a good thing. But I think in certain situations, the training may go out the door.
It may go out the door. And then it's like, I don't want to be like, okay, well, she's not going to ride the school bus anymore. And then it's like the driver is saying, okay, well, what did I do? Yeah. You know what I mean? When it's not the driver that I'm worried about, it's not the bus that I'm worried about. Right. It's the transferring of my child that I'm worried about. You know what I mean? Right. This is a very, very unfortunate,
it is
awful situation. It is.
It is. And, and I hear you say that you don't want other parents to experience that, which is a good thing, because like a lot of times when we're in certain situations, we think selfishly.
Right.
Selfishly. So being that you're thinking about others is a testament to who you are as well.
Right.
So that's actually a good thing too. So what's next? If it's like Ms. Go Getter said, if you look at the video and everything, you find out step by step what happens. After that, you still want that person to, because I know initially you said, well, you don't want that person to be fired. You want some training.
No, wait.
Take it back.
Let's take it back. I said, I'm not a person that likes to see people unemployed. Okay. However, she has to go. She does, because that's not the Legacie's wounds internally and externally show that that's not the job for her.
Okay.
That is not the position for her at all. It is not. So yeah, she has to go, and I have to be assured that she's gone. You know what I mean? And that was my next question. And I got from the assistant principal, well, we can't disclose that information, Ms. Webb. Well, why can't you?
So do you now? I need you to be honest. Do you feel a certain type of way that they are protecting someone who may have possibly, hurt your child?
I do. I am really pissed. I am irate. And that's another reason I got an attorney, because every single day, Lord knows how many times I'm fighting tears now. Lord knows how many times I cry a day. You know what I mean? And then to see Legacie cry as well because she's hurting. We can't really wipe her face and stuff, to clean her wounds. We're using peroxide at least 3 times a day. Then we have to use Neosporin and liquid bandage. It is.
She fell hard.
She fell very hard, and which is why I give you permission, for your viewers. I know they're going to ask, well, where can they see the pictures? You can share the pictures. Okay. Yep. Each and every one of them.
I definitely will.
Yes, because, there's times where she's sitting and she does slob at times. Okay. And then, of course, with her teeth going through her bottom lip, she slobs blood now because of the holes.
Oh, wow. So they didn't give her stitches? When you took her to the hospital, did they give her stitches in her lip?
Unfortunately, because our mouths are so sensitive, and her being so young, they did not want to. They didn't want to stitch, which is why I was told to use the liquid antacid to, help heal, because, with the skin on the inside of our mouths and our lips, it'll heal fast. But there will be some saliva because, and she drinks Pediasure.
Okay.
So with that, the antacid would really help heal it.
Okay.
So they'll be self-healed, and it's doing well. It is.
Okay. So when did you get the lawyer? The incident happened on Wednesday of this past week. When did you contact a lawyer?
Thursday.
The next day.
Oh, you won't play no games.
No games at all.
So
Because
what made you contact a lawyer so fast though? If it just happened on Wednesday, why did you contact the lawyer so fast?
I contacted an attorney fast because one, I know it takes them time to get back to you. And then two, I was not getting answers. I kept calling the school and I kept being railroaded with my questions that I had. Like I would think of, I have MS, and because of the lesions on my brain, I may not think of things like right away. So when I do think of things, I write it down and then I would call and ask. And each time I would get, well, this is an ongoing investigation. I'm not getting answers. So you're not answering to me. You're going to have to answer to somebody.
Right.
Right.
So you have your own medical issues as well.
Yep. I have a nurse as well.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, you have a lot on your plate.
I do. I really do.
But it seemed like nothing is holding you back though.
Not at all. They have tried, to persuade me to have Legacie. Legacie was about 2 years old. They wanted me to have her put before my diagnosis. They wanted me to have her put into a home for disabled children. No. I gave birth to her. I'm going to raise her.
Why did they want you to do that? Because of what you had going on?
Because I had other special needs children.
So how many
they
you have?
I have 4 children total, and each of them, all 4 are autistic. And they each have their own, like I have one with narcolepsy. My second child has narcolepsy. Then my first child is developmentally delayed and autistic. Then there's Legacie. And then my last child, my miracle baby, who I was pregnant with when I had the 3 strokes, she's autistic and developmentally delayed.
Wow.
You are Superwoman.
I try my best.
You are Superwoman. And I guess you have no way not to. Like, every day is a struggle for you.
Every single day is a struggle, but I just do it. I promise you. Those children, they give me something to look forward to every day. I wake up every day with the purpose because of my children. So it's like, with me feeling that way, nobody's going to hurt them. Nobody.
Right.
So are they all nonverbal?
No. Actually, only my first child was nonverbal, but he can communicate, just not as fast as as us.
Everybody.
And then my second child, he's full communicable. He talked entirely too much, to be exact.
So he
right.
Take up for everybody
Right.
else.
He's the advocate for everybody.
Right.
And then there's Legacie, and then there's Storm, my last child.
Okay.
My miracle kid, the one who saved my life, the one who, if I wasn't pregnant with Storm, I wouldn't be alive.
Are you serious?
Yep, she fought off the MS. Yeah, I'm in school right now for healthcare management, and I kept wondering, like, when I was in the wheelchair, I kept wondering how I started to heal so fast. And I read up on it. Fetuses fight off MS symptoms, multiple sclerosis symptoms.
Oh wow!
She saved me.
So let's go back. So you were in a wheelchair as well.
I was. Yep, in 2018.
Man.
So wait a minute. So in 2018, you was in a wheelchair. You was unable to walk, or you had unsteady gait.
I had what is it called? I had spinal issues because of the MS, and I had the 3 strokes, left lesions on my brain, and my left side was like really not really operable.
Okay. It was really weak.
Right. It was really weak.
Okay. So then you regained your strength.
I did. I started to heal really fast, and I didn't know how until my doctor's appointment, where they went to look for fibroids, and a little hand waved across the screen.
I would have fell out.
And there was Storm.
And that's what you call a storm.
Right. And because of everything I went through.
Yeah.
Storm.
Oh, wow.
Yes. My phrase is, I had to weather a storm to continue a legacy.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's cute. That's real cute. Oh, that's really cute. Okay. So you're saying that you start gaining your strength back, but you said Storm has something to do with that because of you said something about something you read when you got in school.
Yes.
It was basically telling you that the fetus can fight off the symptoms.
Yep, they fought off. Yep, she fought off my MS symptoms. She did.
But you still have the diagnosis of MS. You just don't
Yep.
have the symptoms as bad as you could have had them.
Exactly. Yep. Yes, ma'am. That is
That's
correct.
good. So that's a blessing as well as a storm.
Right. And then I was told that once I give birth to Storm, I would face a major relapse and, knock on wood, end up back in a wheelchair. No. And Storm she'll be 4 in February.
Wow. Well, let's go to a quick commercial right quick. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Gam with Wait Again Minute Podcast. The hottest boutique in the 757 is none other than Blase Boutique, 325 High Street, Portsmouth, VA 23704. And if you can't make it in the store, of course they got a website, www.blahzayatl.com. Yeah, here we go again, www.blahzayatl.com. Hit them up today. Okay, so just like that, we're back. Okay, so you are a miracle yourself. Like you have a testimony as well.
I do.
So it's definitely it lets me know that you are here for a reason,
right?
Like, to continue in on what you have going on, because like I was telling Miss Go Getter prior to the episode, when you have special need kids, it's like I think as a parent, it requires you to like overthink a lot, because like, what if something happens to you?
Yes.
Who's going to treat my kid the way that I treat my kid?
Right.
So it's like you guys have my hat goes off to you guys.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry that we had to meet under these circumstances, but I'm glad that we're here, because one, I've learned a lot. You've actually educated me on a lot, and look at things differently. Even back to when you were saying you believe that the person was disabled.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of special need kids have aggression and stuff like that, right? So how can you, defend yourself, or restrain, or however you properly say it with the kids or whatever. So definitely I think it's a learning lesson here.
It is.
For all is involved. I pray that Legacie, when she goes back to school, it'd be a smooth transition. I think that's going to be the turning point that I'm thinking about. Like, is it going to trigger her?
Right.
Or if she see the person, or it's just like you really just don't know.
Right. We just don't know. But as you stated, all we can do is pray.
That's it.
When she's ready, all we can do is pray that it would be, okay. And I know that with her seeing her principal and their bond, that she'll feel some comfort.
Right.
However, I'm not ready. I'm not
ready. So do you know when you're going to send her back to school?
Once she completely heals and her face heals, then yeah, I will go to the school myself, take her myself, give them clear and evident directions myself. They have to have instructions. If the school board, doesn't let me transfer her.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, do you really, or will you think that you'll feel comfortable sending her back to that school?
I do not. Honestly, I have to be honest. I have to. I don't think I would feel comfortable. I don't. But if I have to, she learns a lot at school. I can't admit to that. But
it's kind of you kind of really don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know. But she does have an IEP in place. So there's really, I know, limited schools that are trained, for her IEP. So that's another thing.
Okay, so when it's like that, then they limited as to where they can go for education.
Yep, they're limited.
So you think she can be homeschooled?
That is a good thing to consider. I wonder if she could. I mean, if they could get her assistive technology, in which her care coordinator stated that they could.
Okay.
Then yeah.
What about Katrina Gam Sutton says RBT or ABA, which is like a person that goes with them. You know what? We had a client that the aide went with them to school and sat with them. That's that way they can be there to, personally help them.
Okay.
You ever thought about that?
Yes, and I can put that in place actually. Yep, with her care, her home care. I could actually put that in place. I can.
Yeah, yeah. I think that'll be a good thing, and especially if it's someone that she knows,
Right.
because that's a sense of comfort for her.
Yes.
Right. So it'll allow her to be free and be herself, be
Yeah.
her regular shady baby self.
Right, right. Yeah.
So yes, I think that'll be something good. I think at this point it's a only thing you can do is improvise a lot.
Right,
Try to
improvise.
figure out what will make, what will help her.
Right. And you gave me a good idea. Thank you. Yep.
Well, actually, one of the viewers did.
Well,
I don't want
thank
to
you,
take that
viewer.
credit.
Right. Thank you, viewers. That is a great idea. That is exactly what I'll do because one of her nurses actually want to go to school with her, but it's
Okay.
me. It was always me, like, no, maybe she won't get her work done, or no, maybe she won't pay attention. But since this incident, yes,
Right. Yeah.
that's
And
definitely a
yeah,
yes.
because if she's riding on a bus herself, it give her a sense of independence.
Yep, it does.
And I think a lot of times we don't realize, what independence does.
Right, right,
So
correct.
you want her to be as normal and as free as possible.
Right,
I
correct.
would think so. Yeah, definitely look into that. I don't know all the steps to get that, but if you have a care coordinator, definitely. And if you guys have a rapport, whatever insurance company you have, Optimal, whoever,
Right.
they can definitely make that happen.
Oh yeah.
And if she's still going to the doctor, the primary care can easily write that
Yep.
up.
Yep. Yeah. Her doctor does not play about her. Oh, she loves that baby to death. She does not play.
That's good when your physician is on your team.
Yes, and she has called. Lord knows we have heard from the doctor's office more than we did the school.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, I have again enjoyed talking with you. But before we go, Miss Go Getter, what did you take away from the episode this afternoon? Well, of course, she will have her headphones off because she's doing other stuff. But while she's putting her headphones back on, I'll just state why what I have taken away from today, and just basically, you have gave me some one-on-one, to make sure that I'm on my A game too when people do come on the podcast, to have a little knowledge of what's going on so that I can actually understand.
Right.
And I'm very like I said, my heart goes out to both of you guys, to all of you, because your whole family as a whole, because you have a lot.
A lot.
And I'll be honest, I don't know if you were to slide your plate to me, if I would take it. And I'm just being honest. But
yeah, a lot of people says the same thing. They're like, girl, no, look, you haven't even handed me your plate and I'm giving it back already.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I do believe that God gives, what he gives to certain people for whatever reason.
Definitely. Yeah, there is purpose in my pain. I say that every single day. There is purpose in my pain.
Oh, before Ms. Go Getter states what she took away from today, what made you come on Wait Again a Minute and tell your story? I really had to ask you that.
Well, actually, when I don't know if I sent you a request or you sent me a request, but anyway, I went on your page and I saw a lot of good feedback. And then when I saw the podcast and I saw that, you were looking for potential candidates to come on, I said, wait a minute, I'm interested. Like, I want to tell Legacie's story. And usually I'm not so willing because I get shy sometimes, but I'm like, no, I can't. I'm like, you know what? Nancy, Trina, you're not shutting down. No, you're going to tell her story. No. And I had trust in you just from reading. I read energy very well.
Oh, I appreciate that. So Miss Go Getter, what did you take now that you have your headphones back on? What did you take away from today?
Right, because I'm doing everything back here, and then you're gonna ask me a question. I didn't miss it. Anyway, I took away strength. Nancy Drew. I was like, why are you calling Nancy Drew? But she's strong. She has strength, but with her not only having, illnesses herself, then to have 4 kids that you are raising and taking care of, And then now you have something else added onto your plate where something happened to one of your kids. Now you have to, basically protect, defend, and advocate for them, in
Yes.
their injuries. So it's like now you have a complete full plate. Your plate was already full. Now it's complete. But like they say, maybe it was placed upon you or given to you because you are stronger than what you know or what you realize that you are able to handle it. And maybe there's another purpose
Thank you.
for you to handle this so you can go to the next level of what your purpose really is. So have you thought about, with that being said, have you thought about, or have you already started like some type of program or community type service program or whatever for kids with disabilities or kids with parents with disabilities?
Oh yeah.
I have not, but you just gave me a wonderful idea. I want to. That is something I would love to do. That is something I would love to do.
Yeah, because that would be something, because it's very rare that you see someone have 4 kids and all 4 of them have an issue.
Right.
Disabilities, not issues, but disabilities.
Right.
And then you have your own
As
life
well.
issues, period,
Right.
that you have to deal with, but then have your own life issues. Then you have illnesses too.
Medical, yeah.
Correct.
That's a lot. And everybody wouldn't be able to do all of that or had the strength to try to go back and forth with the school. And that could very well be why the school is taking their dear old sweet time. Because although, like Gam said, maybe the administrator, I understand that and I get that, as far as, sometimes it takes the administrator a little while. But actually, when you're taking care of kids, you're an administrator of a school system with kids. You're taking care of kids. Your process should not be that long when a child was actually injured and you had the video footage of that child being injured.
Yes.
You
that
see what
is
I'm
correct.
saying?
Yep.
I just don't see why it would take so long, because that person still had to come to work. If this happened earlier in the day, that means that person was at work all day.
Yep.
Then they went to work on Thursday and then again on Friday.
And then again on
and you
Friday.
mean to tell me you haven't been able to talk to them none within those 3 days, basically, because this happened in the morning. So
Right.
you had 3-4 work days.
Right.
So, and then so for you to still have to push and worry about that, now you have to bandage up and take care of her sores, and her scars and her marks. Then you have to, explain that to her. Then you have to take care of her. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. And I just took away strength.
Thank you. Thank you. I needed that. I definitely needed that.
Yeah, definitely. Miss Go Getter said a mouthful there. Like
She did.
She did.
Made
And
my entire day. Seriously. I needed that.
Yeah, it was definitely well needed and stated.
Yes.
So tomorrow, what's on your agenda for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the school board again for one. I'm going to give them until about 10 o'clock because I know it'll be Monday, fresh start to a new week, And then if I don't hear from anyone, I'm going to call and leave a message. I might just go down.
Yeah, you might just want to go down.
Right.
This is beyond a call.
It is beyond a call. Thank you. I thought I was crazy when I was thinking on Friday. You know what? Monday, I'm going to go down there. I am not going to call. I thought I was crazy when I was thinking that. But no, thank you.
I think at this point is nothing that you could say or do that's out of pocket. Like, because one, you're dealing, out of emotion, out of frustration, out of concern. You have a lot.
I do.
So I just hope that again, that you all get the results that you're looking for, but most importantly, that Legacie is healed from this issue, because we don't want her to keep reliving it. Indeed. So hopefully they can give us some counseling or something, because that may work, or even help you too.
Yeah.
So that you can help her, at home.
Yep. I'm going to need it. I'm going to need the help, in which I am going to reach out to a counselor for myself as well. Yeah. Because I am not okay. And to keep crying is not the answer. And then I don't know if you all know, but stress and MS do not mix. So when I stress, I flare up really bad. And I could be bed bound again. You know what I mean?
So what is a flare up? When you say you flare up really bad, what is a MS flare up?
I'll start I'll start experiencing some spinal pain first, and then there'll be muscular pain, and then there'll be joint pain and just pain all over.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it'll get to the point where I can't move.
Mm.
And the only thing that would help with that is actually medication only comforts, it just keeps me comfortable. There's no way to really help it. You know what I mean? So I'm trying my best with this situation not to stress because Legacy needs me. So I got to keep telling myself, you know what? You got this. You got this. Nancy or Drew, as some people call me, Miss Drew. You got this, Miss Drew. No, Legacy needs you. Don't break down.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to actually break down. Like I wouldn't sit here and tell you not to, but what I think what you need to do or what's best for you, And I'll just say that of course keep your hands in the hand of the man upstairs.
That's right.
Because he's gonna ultimately make everything better.
Always
in due time. So
yes.
I'll just tell you that. But I wanted to tell you that definitely be an advocate for your child and for someone else's child.
Yeah, seriously.
Like that's
always.
It gets no better than that.
Right. Always. That is what I've always been, since Curtis's diagnosis.
Yeah, you've been doing it. You almost a vet. You've been doing it at least 18 years now.
18 years. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, advocating. And yeah, I do not play when it comes to the children, not just mine, but everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. So how can people we are gonna share the photos of her and one of the videos from the next day. But how can people, reach out to you or follow you or get to Miss Drew's page?
You can follow me on Instagram, you all, at Nancy Drew, and it may say Katrina Webb in parentheses, my government name. And then on Facebook, it's Nancy Drew as well. Profile picture, black dress, and it does say Katrina Webb in parentheses as well.
Okay. So is there any GoFundMe, anything up? You just or like
I have not set it up, but I am in the process of making a business page. It is entitled Justice for Legacy.
Okay.
And it will tell Legacy's story.
Okay. Yeah. So once you do that, then just tag us in and then we'll drop the link to that as well. But for me, I think the purpose of this episode is awareness, right?
Exactly. We're raising awareness. Yes, awareness. I don't ever want another child to experience this. I don't ever want another family to experience this, another mother especially or father to experience what we're experiencing.
Right. And I think it's on both ends. On, the administrative, the faculty and school, as well as on the parents end, because I think it's a learning lesson all the way around.
It is all the way around, not just one-sided.
Yeah, definitely.
That's correct.
So before we go, we always ask our guests how their time has been here on Wait Again a Minute. So we're going to ask you the same thing.
My time here was wonderful, very outstanding, resourceful. I was educated as well, just as well as you,
Yeah.
I was educated as well, and I enjoyed every second of being here. I do.
Thank you. Well, we definitely enjoyed you, and I thank God for linking us up. And we're going to continue to share. We're going to continue to stay in tune and lock with you as well, so that we can be up on what's going on. Because what we do is we don't like people to come just to tell their story, right?
Right.
We
follow the story.
We want to follow. We want to connect.
That's
we want
right.
to make sure there's a lock. So if at any time, everybody know what's going on. So and it's about resources.
Correct. Yeah. That is right.
And awareness. So Miss Go Get It, do you have anything else you would like to say before we go?
Nope, that's it.
That's it. So with that being said, we're gonna mosey on out of here, and you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.